Hey, what's up you guys? Today I wanted to discuss Ready Player One by ERNIST CLINE. So overall I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. I did feel like there were a few things that I didn't like about it as much as I was expecting to. So overall I really liked all of the characters. I really loved Wade and Artemis and H. I love them all. I thought they were all really great, really strong characters. They all really stood on their own as characters, and especially Artemis, she was probably my favorite overall, but I really just loved the characters. I thought they were all well developed, they all had strong arcs, and I loved each of them individually and together as a unit, and I just loved the characters. I also really liked some of the 80s references. I did feel like the 80s references were a little over the top sometimes, but the ones that I could kind of relate to and that I knew about, so those ones that are more popular like Monty Python, those I really liked because I understood them and I knew them from my own history, but some of them I just didn't really click with or get. So I liked most of the 80s references, but some of them were a little bit out of my knowledge level. And I also liked how this was really a quest book. This was really about Wade finding these keys and completing this quest, and I really loved it. It really reminded me of D&D, and I really love D&D, and I just love quest books in general. I love when you are just going along with a character and you are accomplishing the stuff with him as you're reading the book, and it's just so exciting, and I really enjoyed that part of it. So the things that I didn't like though was that it did have some slower parts, and these parts tended to correlate with parts that were world building related, because the world building in this book did kind of have some info dumps there occasionally. You would be told a lot of stuff without really seeing it, and I just didn't like the info dumping that was done in this book, and I didn't like how sometimes with the 80s references you would kind of just get them almost like listed out and be like a paragraph of just like a list of references to stuff that happened, and it's like, I don't want to read this, and so your eyes start to skim over it a little bit, but then you feel guilty because you don't want to skim over words in a book in case something's important. But it's really hard to just read a paragraph that's like, and this movie, and this movie, and this movie, and this movie, or this game, and this game, and this game, and this game, and it's just, you don't need that many references to get your point across. So that is something that bothered me a little bit in this book because it just happened so often. And then the last thing that I didn't really like was we didn't really get that much of the outside world. Most of this book takes place in the Oasis, which is a pretty cool place to be, but we don't get a lot about the outside world. We don't get a lot about the state of affairs of the outside world. I mean, it comes across as pretty generalized as being just shitty, but I want to kind of see that and understand that a little bit better than just being told, yeah, global warming kind of happened, and you know, that's a thing, because we all know that. We all know that global warming's a thing. So just to what degree, to what extent have the things in this book that happened to the world happened? You know, like, to what extent has global warming really affected the world? To what extent have things changed? To what extent is pollution an issue? You know, I feel like none of those questions were answered. It was all very vague and generalized. So now that I've given you my overview thoughts, I kind of want to get into some spoilers as to what happened in the book and my thoughts on them and some of my favorite scenes. So if you have not read the book and would like to, please leave now or else you will be spoiled. So leave. 3, 2, 1. This book is told in 3 parts, and so in the first part we're trying to get the first key and open the first gate. And so with the first key, Wade kind of learns that it's on the planet that he is stuck on, which is very lucky in my opinion, and I really get frustrated with things that are just lucky in books because people aren't lucky all the time. You don't just get lucky. Sometimes it requires some thinking. And so I kind of liked how Artemis had already found the key by the time that Wade got there. She just wasn't able to get it yet. And so I really loved that scene when Artemis and Wade met. I thought it was so funny. Artemis was just so hilarious with it. And she was like, oh my god, you did not get the key before me. And I loved it because I would react the same way. I would be just as frustrated and annoyed. So after Wade is able to get the key, he's pretty easily able to unlock the gate, and this book kind of follows the similar formula for the next couple keys. So with the second key, Artemis is actually able to get that key first, and I honestly really like that she was able to get it first. Personally, I wish that she would have actually won the overall contest. I feel like that would have been a interesting plot twist in the book, and I feel like she kind of deserved it too, because she kind of got to these things first. Like, she got to the copper key before Wade did. She got to the jade key before Wade did. I felt like she deserved to win because she really was the one who was leading the race the entire time. time, even though Wade had the higher score. And while searching for the second key, we got a little bit of Wade and Artemis having a bit of a relationship, and I thought the relationship was super cute, but I did feel like it was just kind of randomly thrown in there. I don't feel like it happened as naturally as I would have liked it to, and I don't like how it absorbed the chase. I don't like how it became almost an obsession for Wade, like the chase for the egg was an obsession for Wade, because it just isn't, that's not a healthy way to have a relationship. So I didn't feel like the relationship was super healthy, and I don't know if it's gonna be super healthy like after the book, since they do get together back again at the end of the book, but it just didn't feel very healthy to me because it was very much an obsession for Wade. Wade is very much a person who gets obsessed with the things that he's doing. Like his search for the key, he knew everything about Holiday, and honestly that's kind of creepy, and I don't understand how you have that much time in your life to watch that many movies and to learn that much about a person, because I just don't have time to do stuff like that. Like I am a very busy person, so I just don't understand how he had time for everything that he said he was able to kind of study and learn in his 5 years of hunting for the egg. So after Wade is able to get the second key and is able to get through the second gate, which he does after Artemis does, we move on to the third key, which is the crystal key. And Salento, our bad guy, was able to actually get this key first. He just wasn't able to get through the gate because he didn't know the little trick, which again is something that I feel like Wade kind of looked into, is learning the trick, because he, you know, went to get the guitar that was like stuck in a rock or something, and he played it right when he got it, and he was able to see that you needed more than one person in order to open the gate. But it was kind of frustrating for me to again see him just kind of get lucky like that. Like he didn't know he needed to play it. He didn't know that that was something that needed to happen. It just felt lucky and convenient to me that he had that urge, because if he hadn't had that urge, then you know what, he wouldn't have known that you need more than one. And so after Wade is able to get the crystal key, he has to go against Salento and the army of the Sixers to get to where that third gate was, because they had already found it first. So he, H, and Artemis and Johto, I think was his name, they all go against the army of the Sixers together to try to win. And then right at the last minute, the Sixers use the catalyst to kind of kill everyone on the planet that they're on, and Wade, Artemis, H, and Johto, they all die. But luckily for Wade, he had an extra life. This was the one instance where Wade got lucky that I wasn't really upset with it, because he kind of deserved it, because he did take that weird side detour. It's something that he earned still. So that one was a little bit less frustrating for me compared to the other times that he got lucky. And since he had that extra life, he was able to go in and start the last gate before everyone else, and he was able to get that egg before everyone else. And so he was the one who won the contest. And that was really exciting, and I enjoyed the fact that he won the contest. As I said before, personally I would have liked Artemis to win just because she was my favorite, but you know, it happens. Sometimes your favorite doesn't win. So, and during this last part of the book, I really loved getting to meet H in person. I loved that she was a black woman and not a white male like she was in the Oasis. And I loved the point that she made where her mom kind of started this, where her mom was a black male and she was able to get by a lot better in Oasis as a black male than in real life as a black female. So I really liked that that point was made, and it's kind of depressing that that point is still just as relevant today as it probably was when the book was written. I don't know how long ago the book was written, but I do know that I've been hearing about it for a while now. So hopefully as a society, that's something that we can, you know, just work better on. So if you enjoyed this book too and want to discuss it more, feel free to comment in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I post new videos. I post videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, so I will see you then. Goodbye!